very good evening, and welcome once again to the podcast and YouTube channel of Jaden Zander. Tonight on The Midnight Man with Jaden Zander, we have 2 more stories for your listening pleasure. Without further ado, let us now welcome Jaden.
Hello, and welcome back to The Midnight Man with Jaden Zander. I'm Jaden, and tonight I will bring to you 2 more stories, one of which is a contribution by one of our listeners named Alan. So without further ado, let us go to the first story. Well, this first story comes from one of our listeners named Alan. He contributed these stories a couple of weeks back, and only today I have the opportunity to bring it to you. And his story goes like this. Well, this incident actually happened to me many years back when I was still a teenager. And it happened only one particular night when my parents were asleep. You know, as a teenager, I love to play computer games, and my go-to game is always Call of Duty. So whenever I play Call of Duty, I'll always play all the way till late at night. So on one particular day, while I was playing Call of Duty, well, the whole household was dark as everybody was asleep. I believe it was about 12+1 in the morning. So my parents and my 2 other siblings were already asleep. So I was playing, and bear in mind my computer is in the living room. So from where I was, I can actually see the kitchen, okay? And it was dark as the lights have been switched off as everyone is in bed. So I was continue playing my game online, and suddenly from the corner of my eyes, I saw that there is this thing. I do not know what to call it, but there is this thing that comes out from the kitchen toilet. It was dark. The kitchen was dark, and the only thing that caught my attention was that this thing, or this being, or this, or whatever you call it, it was burning. Okay, I can actually, when I turned and I looked at it, and I saw that there's this thing that looks like a human being, but he was in flames. He or she was in flames, coming out from the toilet. And the weird thing is that he or she, or this being was not running or anything. It was just coming out from the toilet and standing in front of the toilet door. And suddenly, out of the blue, this thing just threw itself out of the kitchen window. And that got me shocked. I was terrified that I screamed at the top of my lungs. My parents got up. My siblings got up and came running to the living room. And there I was, sitting, screaming, crying, because I saw something that I should not have. But I did. I tried to explain to my parents. They were asking me as to what happened. I tried to explain to them, but I can't. There's no words. No words are coming out from my mouth. So after they calmed me down, they told me to sit with them and tell them what happened. I did. I managed to picture it to them about what I saw earlier while I was playing Call of Duty. And a couple of days later, my mom called over this medium to kind of like bless the house. after he came, he said that this house, the medium said that this house is hot. Hot in the sense that something happened way before we moved in. And he did not actually explain it to us what actually happened, because he himself did not know. But he sensed that something is in the kitchen. Something is in the kitchen toilet actually. And what I saw was something that happened to maybe the previous owner of the house, and the spirit is there, still looking for a way out. Well, till today, I am still afraid of that particular house, even though we have already moved out. All right, and this house of ours was located in Telokblangah. And that is the first story contributed by one of our listeners named Alan. Well, thank you, Alan, for contributing. And I'm sorry that I only got till now to feature your story in The Midnightman with Jaden Zander. But should you have any more stories, please do email me. Well, you know my email. So yeah, and that is a very scary story from Alan. I bet he's kind of like traumatized up till today. Well, who knows? I'm not too sure as to whether the person or the family living in that particular house right now encountered anything like Alan did, but I hope not. So let us go now to story number 2. Well, this next story happened to me actually. Well, it's not a horror story. It's not a scary story. It's not anything like that. But it is a mystery to me, you know. And this time round, it happened while I was working again in the police K9 unit. But this time round, this particular incident happened at Khalsa Crescent Drug Center. And the story goes like this. Well, in Khalsa Crescent Drug Center, we will always, as dog handlers, we will always be deployed there to assist the prison wardens whenever there are unlocking of inmates that needs to be done. So we do in 2 shifts, the AM shift and the PM shift. So I did, on this particular day, I did the PM shift. So while going through my duties, we started at around 8 o'clock or 8:30, I can't remember, around there. So so I was doing my duties and everything, and once I completed my duty, we can actually, as handlers, we can actually go and rest. So there are these 2 rooms. Okay, one is on level 1, which is the staff restroom, where you can sit there, you can have your dinner, you can chat with other officers, and at the same time you can actually rest, nap there also, because there are no beds, but then there are sofas given to you, provided for you to rest. And there is another room on level 2. This room is actually a proper restroom. Okay, but this room actually it was located at the back. All right, so we have to go up to level 2. You have to walk down this long corridor to the last room where this restroom was located at. And to make things worse, the entire corridor is dark, and the only light that is available there is this red light at the end, which is kind of like near to the restroom at the end of the hallway. So not many people would like to go there, because there were stories of people being disturbed while resting there, so nobody goes there. And I, for for myself, I like to go there because no other officers will be there to disturb me while I sleep, because some officers really snore. So on this particular day, I went up to that particular room. So I was walking down this long corridor to this room and opened the door to the room, and went in. The room, it was air conditioned, so that is a plus point. And so I went there. There were 1, 2, 3 beds, if I'm not mistaken. The room is not that big. There were 3 beds, and there is this chair at the corner. All right, I'm not sure as to why the chair is there. I'm assuming that officers would sit on a chair to remove their footwear, their boots, before resting on the bed. So I chose the bed nearer to the chair, right? That is towards the other end of the door. So I went in. I sat on the chair, took off my boots, and went over to the bed. I laid myself down. I was using my phone, and I fell asleep. Okay. So while sleeping, I had a dream. Okay, and in this dream, I was again in this room, sleeping on this bed, in my uniform. But the only difference that it was in my dream. And the weird thing is that at the end of my bed, where the chair is, there is this woman sitting there. She looks kind of like old. She doesn't look scary at all. She looks old, but she doesn't look that scary. She was just sitting there. She was not looking at me. She was staring at the door. And bear in mind, all this happened in my dream. Okay, and so I got a fright. And I got up. From my sleep. And once I got up, the first thing that comes inside was the chair, and everything else was the same. I was in that room. I was in my uniform. I was on the same bed. The only thing that is missing was the old woman. So I kind of like decided, oh, okay, never mind. That's enough. So I put on my boots. I went down to the restroom on level 1. I sat with the officers. I did not tell them what happened actually. I sat with officers, and I took a nap on one of the sofas available. Until today, I did not know who that woman is in my dream. But it's kind of weird. Like it's a mystery to me until today. And that happened to me way back at Khalsa Crescent Drug Center. And that is it. Welcome to the end of episode 4 of season 3, The Midnight Man with Jaden Zander. And once again, I'd like to thank Alan for contributing his story. And should any one of you out there have any horror stories, ghost stories, or story that is of a mystery to you, and if you want to share them with me, please do email them to me at the email address stated down below. And with that, once again, I'd like to thank you. But don't forget to subscribe, to share, to like, and to comment. And of course, to press the bell, because you will get notifications whenever I upload new videos. And with that, this is me, Jaden. To you, good night.
And this is the voice saying, I'm Ghost.